Hey everybody, and welcome back to Space Engineers. This is the follow-up video where we show how we built this self-assembling base. There's another video with a full celebration thing on that, so let's get straight into it. So essentially what we're doing is we're actually going to be building a base. It's got to be standalone, it can't be like embedded into the floor here. I mean, I suppose it could be for the sake of building this, but I want it to be based on a mag plate design, so it's going to be slightly elevated. So what I'm going to do to start with, I'm going to get a bit of clear space here. I'm going to drop a mag plate down, large grid, because it's going to need to drop out of orbit, land like this, and then lock itself down to the ground, and from that point build itself. But it needs to be anchored to the ground by something pretty strong to start with. So we're going to start with one of these. It's a bit big, but to be honest, you know, I think it could work. We could go with a normal mag plate, but there's a good chance it'll get destroyed on landing. I think these are designed to be a little bit more robust. So that's going to be a part of like what's already built. This is part of the package, so to speak. So the next thing that we're going to need a part of that package is a cargo container, because it's got to have all of the stuff in there that it needs to actually build itself. So let's go with a nice big cargo container. So this drop package is going to be fairly large, but it's not going to be like base sized. It's going to be something manageable that you could drop from a large ship. I mean, we could do this with a smaller package, but to be honest, you're not going to fit a whole base in a small box. It's got to be fairly realistic. Right, the main key thing about this as well is it can't have like moving parts, because if we have moving parts on a base like this, the problem is you can't print it. I mean, I kind of want this to be something that you could just get the blueprint, print the thing, fill it up with the materials you need, boom, drop it, and off it goes. So it's going to be very largely based on welders, and the idea being that you start with a few welders, and then that builds the next bit, which contains welders again, and it just sort of escalates through the base, building itself. And then at the end, when you're done, you can grind down the welders and just use the place. So thinking about the positioning of these welders, it's I'm in full admin mode, by the way, so like this is all creative. I'm not going to run out of fuel, so I've got to think about like where these welders are actually going to go and what the actual base is going to look like. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a basic foundation on this thing. So we can't place an armor block on any of these bits because there's no anchor point there. That's the anchor point, which is kind of annoying. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to place the first welder in here so that we've got an anchor point.
Fuel low.
Yeah, fuel's low. Doesn't matter. So
Fuel
first, what? Do we want it that way around? Do you know? I mean, I don't think it matters which way around the welder goes. It'll still like touch everything around it. But if we go that way, we've got these side ports we can continue to use. So welder's in. It's turned off right now. We're going to need a projector on here, so I think I'll put the projector on top of that. So G projector. So projector. Now we've got to get this kind of the right way round. I can never figure out which way around these things go. That's the front. Okay. Put it there. Yeah, cross on top. Thingy on the side. Right, okay. So the projector's facing the way that the welder is. Cool. Okay, initially it's also going to need some power. We'll put another welder on the other side. This is kind of like a central point, so oof, bit lag there. I have to admit, since the update, this game has been a little bit more laggy. And it actually crashed once already. This is my second attempt at starting. Okay, so on the other side I'm just going to put a battery. This might all change. I mean, I just want to get the starting package built. I'm going to probably have to delete that. To be honest, I can't die, so just get rid of all this now. Make some room. Okay, we're going to put another one of these on this side. And another one of these on this side. And go. And on top, it's definitely going to need some... yeah, it's going to need parachutes. So... parachute hatch. Now it's going to be quite heavy once you fill it with all the materials. So I'm thinking... we can access some inventory through those. So actually it's going to need... I can't just shove a parachute hatch on top of there, so I will put them... 1, 2, 2? I don't know if 2's enough. Now, what I'm going to do... conveyors. I'm going to use as much vanilla stuff as possible. I don't want to kind of get into all the cool stuff that nobody can use, so I'll kind of try and use the stuff that's like in the base game package. Right. Now, with these, the cross side is where the parachute comes out, but it doesn't matter. I mean, the main thing is that it's connected to inventory, because then like you don't have to manually load the parachutes. There, that should be plenty to stop it from like falling apart. Good. Right, so next thing we need to do, so we've only got one battery on this at the moment. The idea is like once that battery is fully charged, and at the moment there's nothing charging it, but we can fix that. I'll just temporarily stick a wind turbine on the top of here, just so it can get some charge while we're building it. In reality, it would be connected to a ship and pulling charge from the ship. I think that would basically be your starting package. The only thing it's missing is the blueprint to go onto this projector for the moment. So for this moment in time, I am going to, we'll leave that on for a minute, but I am going to basically blueprint this. What we're going to call it, actually I'm going to delete that blueprint. I'm going to name the thing first. And we are going to call it base package. Nah, let's give it a better name than that.
Fuel critical.
Call it prime base drop. Prime base delivery. Prime delivery base. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So that's that. So let's just get this blueprinted quickly, just for the minute, because the thing is, once I build up onto this and make the rest of the base so that we can create the rest of the blueprint, I want these two blueprints so you can have one on the other. I'm not explaining that very well. So basically you'll start off with this. This is what you build, but this will contain the blueprint for the whole base so that when it starts building it, it builds. But I need both versions because I'll need to come back to this after I've built the whole thing to put the final blueprint onto this and then re-blueprint this in its final form. It's quite, yeah, it gets a bit complicated. Right, so that's blueprinted. Let's just double check that. Base, yeah, it's blueprinted. Right, so now I can start actually building a base out of this. Now what we've got to be careful of is to make sure that At each point where it goes a little bit further, it needs to have the welders in place in order to make sure that can build. I could have got around that with like a few mods, like build and repair, kind of a nice big range, and you could just have like one build and repair unit on this instead. And that build and repair unit will just spawn the rest of your base. But that's kind of cheating, is there's no technical skill involved in this. And the reason why I don't want to have any kind of subgrids in here is because the problem with subgrids is you can't project them to print. It doesn't work without some kind of, again, a mod. So, right. Now the problem here again already is that these welders will not weld the blocks I've just put in. So we need to think through very carefully how we go about this. So if I'm going to take these back out, this is just an example of what you can't do. You can't just shove blocks in and hope for the best. So these will build like what's to the side of them, above, below, and in front. I may have to do a test just to get a feel for that, but like, yeah. So what's below these will not build. So I think the blueprint for this is going to have to actually include the starting point. It's going to have to include that. That just needs to be a part of the beginning blueprint. There's no way around it. So at this point now we have to actually update this blueprint. So let's get rid of that. Let's give it some color as well. I'm going to make the whole thing white. Let's just keep it like very neutral, clean. Yeah, that'll do nicely. Right, so let's re-blueprint this thing. I'm going to blueprint it facing that way, so it's facing the same direction as the projector. In fact, no, I'm going to blueprint it facing this way. I'm going to reverse it in the projector. But the idea being that if you're always facing that way when you blueprint, it always comes out the right way around at the other end. So, Control B, version 1, that'll do. Okay. So we're at that point there. Now, what we need to do is we need to start building this out. So we know that that welder, ooh, here's a problem. Because we've covered up these. Aha. Whoops. Yeah, we can't.
Critical.
We cannot just go and like do that as that was, because like you need to have these in place to keep those projections moving around, to keep like the materials flowing. You see, this is a very organic process. You know, you kind of figure out your problems as you go. Right. Now we have the means to actually like propagate to our other projectors. Okay. Blueprint again, version 3 or version 0.2, whatever it is. So, there we are, version 2. Cool. Right. Now we're getting somewhere. Now the thing is, what we don't want is we don't want like the entire build to just be like welders. I mean, it might even turn out to be completely impossible. But kind of like, if you've just seen the last video, you know that it actually is possible. So, yeah, meta. Right, so here we go. Ideally, I need these welders to be able to stay put. I may end up moving that projector at some point. No, actually, the projector can be removed by the player once it's done. So, okay. First things first, right? We know that this welder can weld up anything next to it. So, like, anything there, I'm not going to keep these in. So, like, there, and there. You can weld up all of that. Now, that's a good place to start at least. But we also know that we need to propagate this out. So we need to have... I wonder if we just do underneath projectors. Ooh. That solves a lot of problems. Okay. We're going to modify the main build again. Because we just like that. Right. Right. Okay, so now what we do is... Oh. I don't want to take that off. We can take that off. It's got nothing on it. It's fine. Right. This will make sense eventually. Is it going dark? Not allowed to go dark. There we go. I think I set the day length to like not long enough. Right. So that's where that stands like that for now. All this stuff like the battery position. In fact, yeah, I don't like the battery being where it is. I'm actually going to remove that battery there. Place them here. That's a little bit more useful. 4 batteries. Pretty decent. Right. That's a slightly more compact looking package, actually. It's quite nice. We still have to put a projector back on. I'll do that in a minute. Right, so what I'm actually thinking here is if I place... That's not going to talk to that. We're going to have a network of welders underneath. So the idea being, hang on, can I do that? Oh, we can. Okay.
Fuel critical.
It's gonna be it's gonna be heavy anyway, this thing, because like we know for a fact that it's going to contain all the materials for a base. So like whatever we do to the starting thing is not going to make it much bigger. And to be honest, like this isn't hard to build, and that's the main thing. The main thing is giving you something that it's easy to build to start off. You can just do it off a projection. There's nothing complicated about this, and it will do the rest of the work. So you can literally like go from all of it, drop a base on a planet, have it self-build immediately on landing, and then when you come down, you've got somewhere to live. So you can instant move to another planet very quickly. Right. Yes, this works quite well. We're gonna have to sort of make that a little bit of a stronger package shortly, but I think this... Do we put that there? No, we put it there. There. Okay. Looking pretty decent there. Let's close. Let's like literally close this ring. Still got to be kind of like a cube at the end. In my mind, I had like something a bit smaller and sleeker in, but like, I'll be honest with you, that's pretty much impossible. Oh, we've done that wrong. That makes a lot more sense. Bingo. Did I not put them on there? Which way do we face these? C. Yeah, I'll do them outwards. Oh, and I put weather in. Okay. We can deal with the weather. That's fine. Right. This is not a bad place to start. So could drop something like this. Quite neatly. Does it need any reinforcing, do we think? Probably not. I mean, as long as it lands straight, that should, with the weight of it and the fact that the parachutes are kind of like straight up in the middle, it shouldn't pendulum too much. It should come down pretty neatly. I mean, the only danger is it could actually accidentally drop it on a hillside. You kind of wouldn't want that. But if you're smart from orbit and you manage to drop it over a lake like this, which is a big enough target, this should be nice and good. In fact, to make it easier to drop it onto target, I think we'll put a camera on here. Vanilla camera. Again, trying our best not to use. This weather's terrible. Okay. Now cameras, the dot goes at the bottom. I don't think it really matters. I'm going to place the camera there. So you can see what you're literally, what you're dropping it on. This gives plenty of room to hide the projector in as well. So if we place a projector in here, right, cross is on the top. That one faces forward, boom, that way. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Oh, let's get rid of this rain. It's getting really annoying.
Critical.
Right. I think that's a good place to start. It's not bad. Yeah. That's a pretty decent place to start. It's going to need some... Yeah, it's going to need some controls. So what we're also going to have in here, let's try and keep the weight distributed reasonably well. So we've got a projector that kind of throws the weight off a little bit, but they don't weigh that much, so it's not too bad. I'll put a couple of control blocks in here. So G, event, controller. So the main thing we need to do is in the event controller, let's move now. Let's take that camera out. So it's, what I can do is put the event controller here to counter the projector on the other side for balance. Right, we'll put the camera. The camera really doesn't matter where you put it. I'll put it there. Ooh, where am I? There we am. Right. Let's see. So in the event controller, what I want to do is say, just going to start naming these. Base landing gear. Base event controller, right. So the event controller, we're going to say landing gear locked. Yeah, landing gear locked. So we're going to say when landing gear is locked. Now all these welders need grouping up. Base welders. Group 1. Right. Event controller, when
Energy
landing gear is
low.
locked. Say that again. When landing gear is locked. We can choose the base landing gear for that. Yeah. What we want to do is, the main thing we want to do is turn the welders on. That's pretty much it. Right. Now, because it's already locked, it's not going to just suddenly turn the welders on us. Because it has to be a change of state. But when you're dropping it, or placing it down, as soon as it locks, it will do that whole turning on thing. Right. Next thing I need to do, we've got our basic design here. So I'm going to blueprint this again. There we go, number 3. Now we can start actually building the base off it. So we know that these will be welded up just fine from there. Right. So all of that I've just placed should weld up just off the welders that we've got here. Now, because we're doing the welders underneath, we can pretty much just build our base up here and not really have to think too much about the bottom, about how to weld it at this level. We're not going to go all crazy and build like a full-on like cafeteria and bunk room and all that. We might put one little airtight area in. I think that adds complication because once you start adding in additional areas, then you've got the major issue of how do you weld the top. Yes, exactly.
Fuel critical.
Yeah, fuel's critical. That's fine for now. I could be doing this with like symmetry enabled, but like, you know, I don't want this thing necessarily to be fully symmetrical. I want it to be simple. 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay, so that's basically a symmetrical sort of 4-way symmetry thing. Now, what we need to add into this is these are the things that we require, basically. We need all of those things I put on there. So, a refinery. Because this has got to be self-sufficient, this place. So, we don't have to necessarily put all of the things like at ground level. We could literally like put that there. In fact, I might actually, do we want to keep, no, we want to keep that thing upgradable actually. So we could place a refinery there. Now, part of the problem with that is it needs to be weldable. I doubt that will weld all the way through that block. Will it? Will it? Right. Right, okay. Let's see. Let's just see what happens if I turn that welder on. Nope. So that can't weld through an entire block, at least not at an angle anyway. So at this point here, what we need is gonna have to put a welder like probably there
Energy low.
or there. I think we have to have at least one like that. We have the small issue of how to connect it, but do you know what? Actually, no. I'm going to place the welder there. It's something that can be removed later by hand. And that's not necessarily a really bad thing. I'm using like a lot of 4-way conveyors here, like, yeah, well, 6-way conveyors here, because I know it's not brilliant for efficiency, but it gives us all the options that we need. Now that welder actually connects the refinery to the inventory system, and from a walking around on the ground point of view, it's not actually dangerous. So you could probably leave that there, to be honest. And what that also does, it gives us a bit of room to add our assembler or something else. In my case here, I mean, yeah, I'm all up for upgradability, but I'll be honest with you. I think that's
Energy
tired.
critical.
Oh no, not like that. We'll put it there. See, maximizing the things you can build using that. Now, the question on my mind is, how do we build that welder? See, all the things on this level can be buildable. But that welder is not at that level. See, that's problematic straight away. So we may have to slightly rethink this. I am thinking that what we do is we place... Let's take that out for a second. Aha. Yeah. I think what we do is we place... I want a solid one here. I think that's... Is that vanilla? Doesn't have a pack icon on it. I think it's vanilla.
Fuel
right.
critical.
And here, if we put that there, it's got a good pass through. Now that can weld that conveyor, this conveyor, this one and this one. I just want to make sure of that. So what we're going to do... Oh, that's already been taken down a bit. Okay. Let's make sure that those can weld with this. Yeah. Okay, so from the surface of it, we do have a welder there that could potentially be a little bit dangerous. So we may have to look at like making sure that these bits are safe, but that covers these areas. That's good. Right, so that's our refinery in and our assembler in. So this base already has the ability to produce stuff. Nice. Now, we are going to have to keep putting these welders around, so we need to make sure that all of these welders can spawn new welders as we go. So this welder here can be welded by that welder, which is fine. We can test that as well. That was weird. Right, let's... Yeah, okay, so that can weld that. Perfect. Right, the next thing we want on here, for sure, we're going to want... Do we carry on with that section? No. Now, this base already has a big cargo container built in, so we've already taken care of that. Don't need to think about that. We need an O2 gen, so in this list here, we have an O2 generator. So I'm thinking actually we place the O2 generator as part of the floor. It should be airtight. But we'll place it that way. So if we place it as part of the floor, we might be blocking off the ability to build something else at the top. I mean, this is a starter base. There's the idea, you drop it down, you have a platform, you have the facilities you need, and then you can build out from there. It's not like a fully ready-made like house. Sure, I'm going to try and put in something that's airtight. Putting that in like that would actually potentially restrict what we can do later. So if I place that in like that, maybe sideways. Yeah. Not sideways. That way. Yeah, that works. Okay, and then we can place our O2 tank. Do we place it like that? Oh no. I think I like the idea of placing... Thinking. Sorry, if I go quiet, it's because I'm thinking really hard. If I place this... Where's my... There it is. Right. That was a mistake. Didn't actually want to take that out. Right. That's not part of the group now though, so that's a pain in the neck. That should not impact the main build though, because that's in the space of something that was already there, so that's fine. I mean, the one that comes in the final build will be the original one that matches the group, so shouldn't be a problem. Right. All good. Right. Let's be very careful what we're doing here. So let's take that out there. And place one of those in like that. And then place our O2 gen on top of there. That way. I'm going to have to place a welder in here just to get a feel for where it can go. So I'm actually going to make this welder a bit higher up though. Do we put it there? I think we put it there. Yeah, that works. Now what we can do, our oxygen tank can go 3. Okay. That's not going to connect to anything though. So we need to place one of these here. That's covered by that welder there, which is fine.
No energy.
Yeah, I know. No energy. That's fine. Okay. Oxygen tank. Woohoo. And that's all covered perfectly by that. We've even got a space here to put something else. So, or there. Oh, if we went out one, we'd actually have room for the hydrogen tank as well. Maybe we bring this over one. Okay, let's bring all this over one level. Cool, right. Take you out, take you out. Take you out. Take you out. Boom. And what we do here is we go... Yeah, let's come out from there. No, because that won't build. There. Now we're going to start getting to a point where things are not going to properly build, so what I need to do is... See, that'll build these just fine. We know that much. If I place a welder there, that won't build. So we might still need to place our welder there. I think we still need to place that there. That's given. Okay, right. That's okay. I think maybe here, if we place a welder here and here, that covers blocks to the side,
Fuel critical.
which is fine. Get into a situation though where, okay, let's take you out. I think if I place that there, then I can place this here like that. So these welders are going to cascade out, and this welder here can point up there. Perfect. Which means I can also place that there because that's also covered by that. Great. And covers these ones to the sides here as well. Perfect. And sort out which ones we don't need after. Right. So the idea here is, here we can place one of those. They're massive, but it's necessary. Here, can place one of those, and next to it, place one of those. Cool. So that's our O2 systems. I think we'll put that a different way around so we can access it. Good. Thinking ahead, you know, accessibility and all that stuff. Right, so here we have refinery, assembler, They will self-assemble from that. This one will self-assemble all of these things. We had to get more complicated because the further out you go, the more like things you have to put into place to actually make it work. I could have got away with just one, but to be honest, you know, we've also got to build these things out. So like these blocks here are not going to weld.
Energy.
These blocks here are not going to weld. So we have to work out those shortly. So these all help that. Right. What do we want over this side? We need a med bay. So let's think med bay. If I place the med bay here, yeah. And we're gonna have, oh, how do we pipe that in? That gets a little bit complicated. Okay, let's rethink this. I think we put it there instead. Put it there. Yeah. Med bay can go there. So like that. We have to figure out what to do with that block underneath in a moment. I don't know if it's going to be useful for something. So for now, let's put one of these in. Because it probably will be useful. Yeah. And then we need a welder in a position that can weld that med bay. So like that. And that welder's welded by these. All of these things can be welded up. Nice.
Fuel critical.
Now we have to be aware that these things are dangerous. So like once it's built, all the welders are going to have to be turned off as soon as there's a person involved. So somewhere around here we're going to have to put a sensor. And the sensor will cover the whole area and be like, when there's a person present, all the welders get turned off. And there's nobody present, welders can be on. Right. So theoretically, if this base gets damaged, it can repair itself. Okay. Now let's have a think. We have that in. What else did we want to have? Well, we've got batteries already as part of the main part of the base, but we are going to actually have to put some power production facilities in this thing, because that current thing at the top is going to be temporary. So I think over here, this, yeah, which course is best for it? Be nice to put one on there, but like really honestly it'd be very difficult to make sure that welds itself. So I think on one of these quarters we could put them on the sides. Don't think that would be too difficult to actually build. Alternatively, I could actually put it, you see, now they're not going to be mega efficient. You already know that. There's not really much we can do about that. I think if I put it and there, I mean, it's just got to be enough just to sort of start ticking things over while you go out and like build yourself a tower. You know, this is like a starting point. While we're at it, let's put one there. That side's going to be difficult to manage. 1, 2, 3. Not there. There, and opposite side. They're far enough apart then.
No energy.
So we'll do the same for this one. There. Opposite side. And here. There. And the opposite side. And we're going to leave this one because we need a way in. So, how do we get those welded up? Now that also answers like how do we build the rest of this platform here as well. So, at this point I'm tempted to say we'll put one of these like that. One there. One there. Already done that there. 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 And there. So kind of continued that same pattern around. Now let's check what that covers. So this one, and this is the same on about all 4 sides, so we just check one side, it's fine. That one covers this. I think that. Fairly sure that one. Let's just double check it. Let's just get it just below so we can see it. Make sure all the materials are in it. And then turn that one. Oh, why are some of these on? All of them have turned on. Oh, I think I know why. It's a power thingy. Okay. Let's turn all welders
Fuel
off.
critical.
Right, let's turn you. Okay, that works. Right, so all of these are covered. So that leaves this row here. This one covers from here to there. So in reality, it's these 4 blocks here that are not covered and these turbines. So that's easy enough to solve. So at this point here, we've got these bottom ones here covered. So those 2 are covered. That one's covered. They're all on again. I don't care if they turn on, it's fine. Right, so they're all covered. That one, that one, that one, they're all covered by that. That one, that one, that one, that one, that. Right, they're all capable of building themselves. And that also buys me the ability to place more of these in. Let's make sure that placing these in places that would actually matter. That builds that. That also builds that. Builds that. Yeah.
No energy.
No energy? Don't care. Okay. I think that covers pretty much everything. I mean, this is a lot of welders. I'm the first to admit that. It's a lot of welders. Right. Any blocks not covered? Let's just do a sense check. That's covered by that. I think we'll put a couple more welders in here. Just to make sure. Right. Okay, that covers literally every square inch of this thing, so... There's that. Right. Now what we need to think about is getting in. Place that there just for a minute. I think these bits here can be actually finished. No, that'll have to be finished a different way. Here would be a good place actually to do something. I think we're going to need some kind of a some kind of an indoor space. Is that going to... Would that weld?
Fuel critical.
If I put that there, would that weld? It wouldn't. But if I placed it one back from there, it would. That wouldn't weld either. I know, potentially this is very dangerous. No. Got a dead spot there. So I have to be cautious here. So that would weld. So with that, that's the best place to put that. Which means we'll take that out of there. I mean, this is like absolutely impractical. Like completely, totally impractical. But hey, who cares? It's 10th anniversary of Space Engineers and 1,000 subs for me. So we do crazy things to say thank you. Right, so what's there? That's another welder. Okay, that's fine. What's there? That's not going to help me at all. This is where things start to get tricky. Okay. That's... Right, okay, I need the conveyor space there, though. Well, okay. Now that one... Right, this is where you can start, like, cascading stuff, so... That one there if I place a welder, anything here will build itself, so if I go back one, why not? Yes. Yeah, that's perfect. This is not going to be tidy. Okay, that one. Okay.
No energy.
Yeah. No energy. Totally aware. No, I don't want to put that there. I want to put it there. Covers more ground. Yeah. Which means that... Yeah. Okay, so it's got conveyor of cargo access. It's also going to be welded by that. It's going to be like the lasting welder. Okay. Good place to start. How the hell do we weld like an entire section? It's tricky. Okay, so now we can't change anything on this line. This inside bit can't alter. So I have to make sure I haven't done anything there. Yeah, this whole inside bit, is one block from the center, has to remain as it is because that's part of the central blueprint. So we need to make sure that we're careful with that. So here, let's see. That can weld up these 3 blocks here and the 3 above. So that could be like a window or a wall sort of thing. But then we have to do like something on the other side. I'm not certain that
Fuel
building...
critical.
Do you know what? No. We're actually not going to try and make an entire like section that... An entire section that can like self-weld the interior. That's just stupid for a starter sort of colonization base. And that would kind of be a bit ridiculous. What we can do though is provide space to like log out, be safe. I hate that these things actually like don't connect to the bottom. That is so annoying. I really dislike that. One there. One there. One there. The backs to these will weld off those. I think that would work. I think it would actually catch those, so... I hate the swivelly thing on this thing. If you're at like the wrong angle, it doesn't work. Yeah, okay. That catches those. I wonder what happens when that's on and if you're in the cryopod. It's like... I'm invincible, but... You should technically be safe. Oh.
Critical.
Yeah. You should technically be safe. I think it's important that when
critical.
somebody's nearby, all the welders are off. I think that's critical. Yeah, I believe it is. Right. And that leaves this whole space here for, like, whatever. You could build your own little, like, thing on here. What do we need here, though? I mean, really? What do we have? We have medbay. We have assembler, refinery, cryopods, batteries, hydrogen tank, O2 gen, oxygen tank, storage, power. Actually, we can remove that middle one now. There we go. Right. Power. Kind of needs like a way up, but let's see, stairs. Oops, G. Stairs. What's the longest staircase we have? Still only goes down like, oh, it goes down like one block. Is it really stupidly long to do it? Normal stairs. Let's see. Is that the right way? Right, yeah, that's the right way. You could put stairs in. That would weld. The one underneath wouldn't. It would also slow down those. Okay, I think this side should be the stairs. Let's put the stairs in. Oh, stairs are awful. No, ladder. The main reason for this is just so that, like, if you've got no hydrogen, you can actually get out. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you can get up from there. Right. Those. No, let's see which ones will melt. That would weld. That would weld. Oh, they would all weld. Because of that one. Right, it gives you the means to get in. This gap here is kind of bugging me. How do we fix that? I mean, it starts getting a bit stupid now, but hey, that's what this whole project's all about. Pure stupidity. There. Now I can put something up there. Covers both of these blocks. So I could put one there, one there. Let's see. Is this possible? This can stay, because what we also need is an antenna. So I'm actually going to place the antenna right there.
Fuel critical.
It would be kind of nice to have them a bit further back,
Energy
but
critical.
I think we lose that and we place something like this here. Can I get away with one more? I think I can. That allows you to walk onto it from here. Got a big empty space over here. Do we need, what can we put over there? There's not really much you can put there. I think we save this space for the owner to choose what they put there. And the same for this space here. These can both be like living quarters areas, but you'd kind of have to DIY them yourself. I mean, it would be so messy. Like, by the time I've actually built the welding system up here to actually fully construct the top part, I think by that point, yeah, it's going to get so messy. I mean, we could do it. But then this whole base is going to be like 99% welders. So I think we go with what we've got here. Okay, so now we need to make a couple of little changes here because after the big test, we discovered that these corner blocks don't weld up. So we're going to add a couple more welders and just fix a few little issues that we've seen along the way. So I think it's safe to put a welder in here. They will turn off when they're, well, as long as we add them to the group, they will turn off. Okay. So we had that corner one. We had this corner one. And we had this corner one. Yeah, it basically covers it. I'm going to take that one off and move it back one. That should be fine. And this one I'm going to move over to that side. Right, let's make sure they're all piped on right. Yep. 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 That's all good. Okay, so we've added our last welders. Now, a couple of other things we noticed. Oh yeah, we have to group those welders up first. So we're going to just take all the welders. Is that all of them? Yeah. Actually, we're going to take all, yeah, there we are. Four. Yeah. I'm just going to amend the welders all group. Now we've added a sensor to the build, which enables the turning on and off, and we just made it so it's got a nice little bit of a distance there, so you can see as soon as you get close enough to actually do any damage, they all switch off. If you're going like super fast, you might be able to beat the sensor and hurt yourself, but that'd be stupid. Right, there's also a problem here. Because this, and this are not piped into there. So what we need to do is we need to make a small change, just a small change. So I'm going to remove this block here. That's still connected, so that should be fine. And remove that block there. And it's covered by a welder, so it should be fine to do this. I'm going to add one of these there, and that pipes it all together. So now these are connected via this through to there and all the way through to here. So that solves that problem. We've plated over a couple of these blocks here just to tidy it up because there was a welder underneath this one. We can't just place the plate on top of there, it has to have this one to connect to, so it's a bit important. All of this has stayed the same. We can panel over some of this, so if I take some paneling, just to tidy that up. It's actually quite nice. I'm thinking we could actually continue the paneling down here. Give it a bit of a skirt. And this will weld. Not gonna weld. Oh, no, that's not where I want it. That's where I want it.
Fuel critical.
Okay. Still getting fuel critical warnings, which is nice. Yeah, we can definitely panel over all of this. This is adding to the build a bit, like the amount of materials you're going to need. Feel free to strip it back if you need to, but we kind of want something that looks a little nice. Okay. This one's going to be a little bit more tricky. Kind of do need... It's going to be tricky because placing these blocks is technically on the outside of there, and these are going to actually obstruct it. So I think we can only panel on the inside of these. We could technically cover a couple of these up, but yeah, do that. Does slow down the turbines a bit. We'll take that one out there. We'll take that one out there. And on this side we've got the exact same problem. Yeah, a little bit of skirting kind of makes a lot of difference there. Now the bottom layer, I think we could probably continue that along. It's probably the same. Oh no, that one. Yeah, that's fine. 6, 7, 8. 9. One more. I'm hoping at least all weld perfectly. That won't go there. Okay, we have a problem there. There's going to be gaps. Right, we still have this gap here. No way to cover it. Oh, yeah, we can cover it. Right. These should all weld. Any that don't, you can polish up yourself. Nope. Okay. With the exception of a couple of blocks that we can't cover. I think that's pretty neat. It's just a little bit of extra armor. Okay, I don't want to use up too much resource. I mean, it's a little untidy. There's a sensor. right here. We could place it central, but because you've got independent control of top, bottom, left, right, up, down, you don't really need to. Okay. So that's the build. That's the finalized build. Now what we need to do is take a blueprint of this and put it onto there. This is the original build, so it kind of doesn't matter which way round you do it. But the main thing is that it lines up. We've also put one of these on top, so a connector, so you can like attach it to the bottom of your ship and drop it off, or the top of your ship. Yeah, that looks fine to me. Right, so now what we do is we turn objector, well actually we have to just double check the objector settings. We want to keep projection, we also want to show only buildable, and we want to turn the block off. No, we don't want to turn the block off yet. It's one thing we do need to do. What I want to do is I want to add an assembler to this build, just temporarily, and I don't want to put it anywhere that's in the way, so I'm just going to literally chuck it right there, just for a minute. Because what I'm going to do, we've got a mod installed for now which has the send projection to assembler, which allows us to see the materials that you need to build this, so I can then tell you what materials this base needs in the cargo container. So, projector, send missing items, only the missing stuff because you don't want to include what's already built. And now, this is exactly what you need to build this entire base. So you need 6,363 steel plates, 4,354 construction components, 657 motors, 2,281 interior plates, 114 metal grids, 1,718 small steel tubes, 49 displays, 548 computers, 320 powers, what are they called? Battery things, power cells, 156 girders, 236 large steel tubes, 24 medical components, they're for the cryopods and the medical room.
Critical.
44 antenna components, radio components, 30 bulletproof glass, 6 detector components, and that's it. Depth sensor. So there you go. Pause that, take a screenshot. Take a screenshot of that as well. And that is your build of materials. Right, so now we can get rid of that again. Gone. Turn off our projector. Make sure that this knows to turn projector on. So we're turning the welders on, base welder group, projector toggle block on, yeah. Fine. So this is our droppable package. This is the prime self-assembling base, as you will see on the workshop right now, and that, when dropped, turns into this, which gives you a nice starting point with spaces you can build yourself and all of the main facilities that you need to start a new base on a new planet. Not really recommended for people just starting on the first time, because you need a lot of materials to build it, but perfect for like if you're just moving to another area and you want somewhere to start immediately. So if build videos like this appeal to you and you do like a little bit of kind of to multiplayer as well, yeah, subscribe to us, drop us a like on this video so we know you like this, and we'll hope to see you for more. Thank you.